Yo, Henning here, and today we make it personal. This is the first episode of Paradise Mindset, and we're talking about a topic which is very important. It's all about if you want to be seen, you have to be different. That's more or less the whole mindset behind Paradise Studio. That's my mindset, and that's my approach since day one of running Paradise Studio. Nobody stands out if he does what everybody else does. So if we keep that in mind, if we're producing videos or visual storytelling, what does that mean? If we're doing videos like everyone else does, for example, I think there's a bunch of travel videos which are more or less built the same way. They show us beautiful landscapes, sunsets, waves, waterfalls, beautiful nature, whatever. They have zoom transitions and they have maybe drone flights and whatsoever, but in the end they basically look all the same. And it's because they lack visual storytelling. It's still visuals, but there is no story behind. And that's the key part for me. That's my takeaway for being almost 20 years in the business. It sounds like a buzzword, storytelling. Everyone uses it. Content is king, visual storytelling is the key, and it's super important. But there's no other way to describe it. If you want to create videos that the people like to watch or like to see, you have to have a story in it. There has to be a build-up, you have to have some surprises, some suspensions, maybe some humor as well. There are many possibilities to create videos that stand out. And being in the business for almost 20 years, all my videos have one thing in common. Really, one thing. Every video has a bit of Henning, a bit of me in it. Be it the humor, the focus I'm putting on, I'm using for the story, or the tonality of the video. That's what all the videos have in common for the last almost 20 years. And it changes. It's not that the videos I did 20 years are looking the same as of now, but you can still see when I produced or created a video, you can just sense that there's a difference to other videos. So that's my biggest advice I can give to you. Make it personal. And with personal, I mean it on different levels. If you want to showcase your brand or you want to sell your product, it helps if it's more personal, if you see people using your product and having a better life. That's the thing which you can then showcase, which then helps to sell your product. And a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, Madeleine, now living in Berlin, always used to tell me when I started with photography, she always told me, you will never be bored of people. So whenever you're shooting landscapes or nature or whatever, when you start with photography or filming, it's not that easy to have people in front of the camera. Where do you get them from? I see that point. But if I'm shooting a portrait of someone, it's not that easy to access people just on the streets. I've been there and done that. Like really, I was in Miami and I really challenged myself to approach people which I thought were looking awesome or had grids on or whatever, or when I fancied their style, I just asked them, can I take a picture of you? Nobody ever said no. Everyone was like, oh yeah, no problem. What do you want me to do? If I'm talking about visual storytelling and I'm saying make it personal, you have your style, you have your tone of voice, you have your interpretation, which in the end makes a huge difference how your videos look compared to other videos. And that's something, your taste and maybe your sense of humor or whatever, that's something which can't be copied either. Using zoom transitions or whatever kind of style is in right now, everybody can just use it and copy it. But your style, your sense of interpretation, your sense of storytelling, that's something which the other people just can't copy. So that's something which will always like distinguish yourself from other video makers. And that's also something what all the clients I worked with came for. They always wanted to have videos that were special. Not in the sense of totally different and never seen before, but they always wanted to have videos which separated them from their competitors, so they can stand out. So it was always about, we want to have videos which don't look like the others from our competitors. We want to have something which are a bit more fresh, which look younger, which are a bit more open, or where we are able to try out new things. Or that was always the mindset the clients had when working with me. And in the end, that's why the Paradise videos look and feel so different. You have the visuals, the pictures. Then the second part is the audio, the music we are using, effects we're using. Also voiceover that we can use. And those things mixed together, combined with effects or graphics or whatever. Paradise videos are being produced on a high-end camera. With a high-end camera, it's 4.5K raw material with a high dynamic range. We use proper lenses. But the whole tonality, the voiceover, the storytelling, the music, the self-made or self-written graphics, to put it, that's the things which make it more accessible, because it doesn't look like a high-end video production, although it still is, but it still looks a bit more. Sometimes we mix it also with mobile videos, so it's the whole mix which makes the videos kind of accessible, kind of different, but still something which you like to watch and like to see. One thing which I really like to use are like VHS kind of effects or glitches, or 90s kind of TV kind of effects or color effects. I think what fascinates me is the glitches or the effects that I'm using are like the real life. So there will always be obstacles in our way, being while on the production, be it while just having to go to a location and then being stuck in a traffic jam or whatever. There will always be obstacles in our way. And it's not about that you have to overcome obstacles, but the interesting part is how you deal with obstacles and challenges, how you overcome them. I mean, it's not that easy to produce really perfectly lit pictures, but to produce pictures which the people resonate to, which they can feel, it's even harder. Because the one thing, it's a technical thing. You have to put different lights, for example, to have a proper interview setup. You have 3 lights, two from the front, 1 from the back, and so on. It's very technical. To create pictures that the people resonates with is something which happens on an emotional level. And that's something where your personal flavor and your personal style comes into play. Another thing which is happening very often for me is that the best things are happening by chance. It's not things that I've planned. Maybe I have the framework for things like this to happen, but in the end I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm very influenced by Andy Warhol, and my influence is being taken from his screen tests. And the screen tests are 3-minute long videos. It's exactly the length of an 8mm film roll. And you just put people, actors, friends, whatever, in front of the cameras for one 8mm roll of film. And he didn't direct anything, and he just let the people sit there for 3 minutes. And sitting in front of the camera for 3 minutes can feel like eternity. It feels very, very long. And that's the approach I'm having to directing as well. I'm setting the framework So the people can be how they are, even if they are being put in front of a camera with lighting and a sound guy and whatsoever. But still, that you can feel or get a sense for their personality. That can be just a small shot being shot in super slow motion where just somebody throws up a ball and catches it for 3 or 4 times. But you will see a different side of the person when he throws up a ball. Maybe he doesn't catch it or he drops it, and then he starts to smile and whatsoever. Or maybe he starts to juggle because he has some hidden skills I wasn't aware of. So there's always kind of surprises involved, but it's always the best part for me when it comes to directing. And visual storytelling has power. It has an enormous power. The power lies in the emotions you can create while producing or with visual storytelling. And those emotions make it more accessible, more human. And so, you build a different connection. In the end, it's about trust. I buy from people or brands who I trust. And if I don't trust a brand, I won't buy from them. That's why you have on Amazon, that's why you have the reviews in the end, because the reviews, if they're good, they're just a social proof that the product is worth the money. If being done wrong, this all can be lost. So that's the important part for brands and products, that you have to be willing to take a risk. If you don't take a risk, you will probably, if you want to produce a video and you're not able to take at least a small risk, it doesn't need a big risk. You don't need to put all your marketing budget into one video production, but you have to take a small risk at least to produce videos to look differently and to separate your videos, your product, your brand from the others. Easier said than done, I know. But I have to say, and that's my motivation, and that's why I'm doing this here as well, I'm really, really bored of the always same looking videos. That's why I'm sitting here, and that's why I'm trying to help or to tell or to explain what visual storytelling, outstanding visual storytelling is good for. If you have any further topics you want me to talk about or have any comments on the topic, maybe I missed out on something, please put it in the comments. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and don't hesitate to subscribe to the Paradise Studio YouTube channel.